can like sing a jingle for you.
Go for it.
Cookbook diva, she's got the sauce.
Oh, that's going in the podcast. Oh, that is totally making it into the podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Pull Up Podcast, where we discuss life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and all of the insanity that is adult life. I'm Kate. I'll be your host. Join me every Wednesday for new episodes on Apple, Spotify, and Podbean. We are on Instagram at _pullup_podcast. So don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back and relax, and let's get into the Pull Up Podcast. All right, everybody, welcome to the Pull Up Podcast. I have Eva here with me today, chef extraordinaire. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Eva is on Instagram at cookbookdiva, and that's Teva, right?
Amen.
Amen. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Caitlin.
Thank you for coming. I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm so excited I'm on. Thanks for having me.
So I want to talk about your cooking, because I'm fascinated by your videos and your photos and how yummy your food constantly looks.
Thanks. I was actually recently told by somebody that I should make an OnlyFans page for my food cooking because it's like food porn.
Oh my God. Well, people will pay for that.
Dude, how much money do you think I can make off of that?
I don't know, but fuck it. Who cares? Here's $1 for my grilled cheese.
I mean, nobody's doing it. Think about it.
Do it.
There's, like a bunch of Instagram models, but who's doing food porn? Like
Do it.
on OnlyFans.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, I think so.
I think people will pay for anything.
Nowadays, right? Everybody's at home.
Here's a picture of my toes, $10.
Hey, that might be my next venture. I've got pretty nice toes too.
There you go.
Put them together. Food porn with toes.
Food porn with toes. Listen, I'm sure that you will find a group of people that are into that.
I'm sorry, this conversation's already taken a left turn with me. Welcome.
I want to know what attracts you to cooking. Like, what about it do you enjoy so much?
Oh man, I love everything about cooking. First off, you gotta love food, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta love to eat. I'm obsessed with different cultures, so I really enjoy to kind of learn about different cultures and their food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fully white, like as white as they come. So, I enjoy to learn about those other cultures and, how they make different dishes because, not every culture makes, rice the same
right.
or their meat the same. And it just attracts me, to the smells, to the different ingredients. Like, I love finding a new recipe and being able to kind of put my own twist on it, but still understand, what I'm pulling from their culture as well. So,
right.
Just different things attract me to cooking. But all in all, if I'm eating it, I'm happy.
Is there anything that you just cannot eat? Or that you're like, that goes a little bit past my comfort zone?
Oh my God, people are going to probably kill me on this. I hate beans.
Really?
I fucking hate beans.
Wait, but you like hummus?
So I'll eat hummus for like the healthy factor if I'm looking for like a healthy dip or something like that. But I don't, because it's a part of a bean as well. It has that bean flavor. I don't like the texture. I don't like the taste.
How interesting.
And it's so unfortunate because I live in Miami and I would love to enjoy all the different beans, from the different cultures down here. But I've tried refried beans, black beans, pinto beans, chickpea, everything. I just don't like beans. It's so sad. I wish I loved them.
That's so interesting. I'm so glad I asked that. That's like off the cuff too,
I
because I
know.
just showed her my list of questions and I caught her off guard with that one.
But anybody that knows me knows I fucking hate beans.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad I didn't make like a 7-layer dip or something for you.
No. Hey, anybody want to make me a 7-layer dip? Do not put beans in it. Just for reference.
Who do you look up to most in the food world? or in
Oh my
general,
God.
right? In
My
connection to food. Uh-oh.
I'm such a sap. My first response was like, my dad. Because like all growing up, questions used to ask me all the time and be like, oh, who do you look up to? It'd always be my dad. But as far as like the cooking world, I mean, I would say Guy Fieri. I just love him. I love diners, drive-ins, and dives. I love every show that he has on the Food Network. I'm just so interested that, you know, he has this personality that's awesome, that's really out there. It brings you in, and then at the same time, he gets to go to all these cool-ass restaurants and try, like, the best food around. And
I love him. He's, like, part comedian, part chef, part...
He's part everything.
Yeah.
So I definitely look up to him, and especially with, you know, everything that's, like, recently going on with, you know, my new ventures and stuff like that. I look up to him because of that. So...
Right. So tell us more about your new ventures.
I will. Thanks for asking. So recently I've been partnering with restaurants, and I've been doing something a little bit different, kind of following the Guy Fieri thing, which is kind of why I look up to him. But basically, I've been going to different restaurants. I've been able to go back into their kitchen, film their food, see how it's made, and then also speak with the chef. I've been able to kind of interview him, sit down, ask him, like, you know, what makes his food different. And coming from somebody who, like, really, really enjoys to cook, I'm not a chef by all means, but I really enjoy to cook. It's an interesting conversation to have, kind of, you know, speak with somebody that has that same passion with you, and you can kind of talk back and forth.
Right.
And understanding, also get a different point of view. I love different point of views about food. Like, you know, what different flavors they're pulling out of maybe something that they made. But, you know, that's a new venture that I'm on. I've been able to interview with new restaurants and just kind of get on a closer side with them and really dig deep with the chef. So it's been kind of a cool thing to do.
That's pretty cool, because I follow a couple of people that like that are on Instagram that kind of put up the similar type of content that you do.
Yep.
And they do a lot of like the photos and the videos, but I've never seen them interview the people who are actually cooking the food. So I find that really cool. Like,
I heard that, you know, it was actually kind of rewarding. The one thing that I heard when, you know, one of the restaurants I was just reviewing recently, I walked out of there and I was speaking with one of the girls, and she goes, and I asked her, I was like, how'd you like that? And she said to me, you know what? That was pretty fucking dope. I have never seen like a foodie come in here and like actually sit down and interview and, you know, be interested in that side. And I've never seen that. So that to me kind of felt cool, because I was like, you know, it's something I've always wanted to do, is intertwine my personality within my cooking.
Right.
And while I'm doing it, I'm doing something that I love, and I'm, you know, understanding like different sides of the food world, which is pretty cool.
So what's your favorite food? I know that's a hard question for a foodie,
No.
I have to ask.
You can ask me. It's pizza. I know it's so basic, but I asked this on my Instagram the other day, and I said, if there's one food you cannot live without, excuse me, what would it be? And mine would be cheese. Anything with like cheese and bread, just because, like, dude, you can't, like, how can you go wrong with cheese and bread?
You can't. I don't think so.
Like, I could survive off of cheese and bread till the day I die. So, you know, pizza has my heart and soul. Hence, I brought a pie.
She literally brought a large pie with her. She walked in with a large pie and a bottle of red wine. This is why we're friends.
That's just how I do it.
Is there some memory connected to food that like really sparked your immediate interest, or is it just something that you've always been interested in?
No. Funny you asked that. I fucking sucked at cooking.
Really?
I'm sorry if I'm swearing a lot.
It doesn't matter. I'm listed as explicit on Apple.
Hey.
You can say whatever you want.
We listed as explicit. Okay. Yes, there is. I hated cooking growing up. I mean, I can tell you a memory of my mom used to, like, I used to drive my mom crazy, because I guess I was like so exact, like, you know, worried about like how much I should put in different cooking dishes and stuff. And so to give you a perfect example, like my mom used to ask me like, hey, can you boil water for pasta? and just add some olive oil in there so the pasta doesn't stick. And I would blow her phone up like 10 different times and be like, okay, so how much water? Do you half a cup, full cup? Okay, and then you need to add how much oil? She'd be like, Eva, just fucking put a tablespoon of fucking olive oil and be done with it. Boil it. I didn't know how to cook. So that to give you an example of like my level of cooking, right? Mm-hmm. Then when I hit college, I had a roommate, I had two roommates, super dope. And they basically, we went out to eat a lot, and one of them enjoyed to cook a lot. Mm-hmm. So we would, sometimes she would cook for me, and then I graduated college, and I was like, shit, I'm by myself. I don't know really how to cook. Mm-hmm. My mom always knew how to cook. She cooked like amazing meals. I would always love eating all of her food, and so I don't know, I was like 25 and it kind of just hit me and I was like, I should probably like figure this thing out. Like I should probably like figure out how to cook.
Right.
And so honestly, I don't know, like the way that I think of things and I believe things, everybody has like the capability of cooking, right?
Agreed.
Everybody has the capability of really doing anything, cooking, anything like that.
Right.
It just takes effort. It takes trying. And so really what I just did is I got in the kitchen and I started to, look up different recipes because I couldn't even bake chicken at one point, like it was that bad.
I can't bake chicken.
I'm sure if you looked up a recipe, you could.
I mean, what's that thing called?
What?
Shake and bake? Shake and bake. I can shake and bake.
What's shake and bake?
Shake and bake.
Isn't that like a football term?
I don't know. Now that I think about it, I'm like, is it? Shake and bake comes in a box, and it's basically like the seasoning for like, depending on what type you buy, it's like for cutlets, chicken cutlets, or what is this thing called? The pork with a bone. Pork with a bone. Pork with a bone.
I'm going to go with pork for 300, Jerry.
Anyway, it literally comes with the breading. I'm going to call it breading, but it's like the seasoning, and it does have breading in it. And then it comes in a bag.
Okay,
and
so
literally,
it comes all
you
together.
throw it, and you just shake it, and then you bake it.
Where the hell was that with it? Is this like a Publix trend?
No.
It's like a thing.
It's like a thing. This might be too below a chef who makes things from scratch.
I'm far from a chef, though. I just enjoy to cook.
What do you think is like your signature dish?
What is my signature dish? Oh, God. I actually get asked this a lot, and I'm always like kind of stumped.
Or what do you think you make the best?
A lot of things. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so we're going to pretend you got a hot date coming over.
Okay.
What are you making?
I got it. Bacon lobster mac and cheese.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a recipe I took from my mom.
Okay.
And it's white mac and cheese. And it's bacon and lobster and scallions. And
that sounds delicious. Even from somebody who would die trying it.
Are you allergic?
I'm allergic to anything that comes from the ocean. And the sad part is that as I got older, my allergy got worse, so I know what I'm missing. I have had lobster, I have had crab legs, I have had sushi, and when I turned 22, I went to a Red Lobster, and I had lobster pizza, followed by shrimp on a stick, followed by fettuccine Alfredo with, I don't know, mussels, something.
Wow.
And
so
I had to run to a CVS because my tongue got big. I couldn't close my mouth. My throat was swelling. So I now have to travel with an EpiPen.
Oh my God.
And I can't even I know if I go to a restaurant and they fried whatever I'm eating in the same oil as they did.
Bless your soul. Bless your soul.
Mm-hmm.
No seafood.
None. Zero. And what makes me so sad is that I love sushi.
Oh my God.
I no longer can enjoy sushi.
Dang.
Yeah. And I can't eat there either because how am I supposed to tell somebody at a sushi restaurant, hey, no cross-contamination, please? Yeah, you're like, get the fuck out of here. Why are you here?
So what you're telling me is I should throw away the lobster pizza I brought?
Shut up.
I'm just kidding.
Did you see my face? I was like, oh no.
I'm just fucking with you.
I would have smelled it. I think I would have smelled it.
No lobster in there.
No
You're good to go.
Yeah. I mean, I irritate a lot of people.
So wait, have you never tried like snow crab?
I have had, I don't know if I've had snow crab. I know that when I was young, we used to go to this place called Jumbo Buffet.
Okay.
In Miami Beach.
Okay.
And it was a buffet, right? And they had a whole section of like crab legs.
Okay.
And my 7-year-old ass would go over there with the tray and 2 plates and just put crab legs. And I'd be gnawing on those bitches for like an hour and a half.
Okay, but there's no meat in there, so
maybe I haven't.
You gotta like 5 or 6 of them, you'll get like a good amount of meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I ever contemplate, people are gonna come for me for this. If I ever contemplate suicide, that's the way to go.
Please don't come for her, guys. Don't come for her. It was just a joke. We're all just a bunch of sarcastic assholes around here.
Nothing has ever been more accurate.
Actually, I can say my snow crab dish is the bomb too.
Yeah.
It's another seafood dish.
Fucking hell, you.
Sorry. I can make a bomb chicken parm, Penang curry.
What is it that you made the last one we had was it Beer Olympics?
Oh, I made.
What was that you made?
Something scallop.
Oh, the potatoes.
The potato scallops.
Oh my God. I was drunk and I still knew how great they were.
You know what's so funny is like I would walk inside and there was like just like little plates that were sitting there. And like everybody was so drunk from Beer Olympics that they were walking inside and shoving their hands like in the dish and lifting it out with their hands. And I would see people walk out of the house with just like hands full of potato scallops.
I might have been one of those people.
I think I was too. It was like a trend.
Dude, there was a shit ton of food, as there always is, okay, when Hans and Brie host anything. But that plate, I think, was like, and then after it was done, we were taking bread and we were like scooping out like the sauce that was left over.
That was the vodka bombs.
It was so good.
Thank you.
It was so good.
Thank you.
So what's your ultimate goal with food?
Well, when I initially started this page, I kind of started it as, just something fun and enjoyable just because I love to cook. And I thought, what a great way to kind of share my recipes and get them out there,
right.
Which followed by the cookbook. And, now I'm taking it to another level where I'm going to restaurants and I'm getting booked and being able to, interview the chefs. And my ultimate goal would be to turn that into some sort of a business where I can make, a solid revenue, just because obviously I'm in medical sales currently and I do this as like a passion.
Right.
But, all in all, that would be pretty awesome if I could turn it into some sort of a business and, follow on those same tracks as Guy Fieri.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So how do you like get there? Like because I know nothing about the food industry and really particularly the entertainment
You
industry.
and me both.
Well, it's not just you though, right? Okay, so it's you and you have a production team.
Correct. So I have like a videography team.
Okay.
That I work with, and basically, we go to different restaurants, and we're booked by different restaurants, and we go in there. We kind of film in the back their favorite food items that they want to pick for us, and then a lot of the interview questions are kind of based around, what type of food we picked up, and then maybe like the chef's specialties and what they suggest and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But really, I'm kind of as figuring it out as I go as I can as well.
Right.
It's just one of those things where I definitely put a lot of work into it, and it's solely me kind of doing it and me hiring my whole team to kind of run behind me and do it. So I'm definitely running a one-man show here.
Don't forget to follow Eva. She is on Instagram at cookbookdiva, and that's DEVA. So make sure you go and check her out. Now we're talking about you having your platform and what the next steps are going to be for you and your goals. I want to go back to when you started. Like, what were the reactions and I had a podcaster on and we talked about like in terms of a podcast when you start one, but what were the reactions of your friends and family when you started your like food page? And were they positive? Were they negative? Do you feel that, is it something where we just have to push through? Because the reason I'm asking
Yes.
is because I love doing my podcast and I get something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that at some point someone else can get something out of it.
Absolutely.
But I have come across a couple of friends that maybe were like, well, but why? And it's almost like we're very quick to support people we don't know.
Right.
Because we're looking at it from the outside, but not necessarily people who we're close to.
Right.
So what was your experience when you first started?
So when I first started, to be honest with you, when I first started, it was kind of a very funny type of situation. And if you ever look back at my old videos, they're so different than the videos I do today. When I was in the beginning of it, we kind of made them more like music videos and just fun. And some of them are a little sexual.
Now I have to go and scroll.
But if you know me and you know my personality, I like to make fun of myself and I like to be sarcastic, and a lot that goes behind a lot of those videos was me doing that.
Right.
But overall, my friends knew me, so they found it funny, and they were here for it. So overall, I don't know if I've had negative, probably behind my back, but fuck the haters, right?
Yeah. Live your life. I know that you mentioned the cookbook.
Right.
So when do you think that your cookbook will be out? Like, what's the plan?
Well, cookbook, that's interesting. I should do that now that you mentioned that, because I said cookbook, but I meant I have the website.
Oh, okay.
Right? But now you're sparking ideas in my head, and I'm like, damn, I should probably turn this into a cookbook eventually, right? Because that would be kind of the point.
Yeah.
I don't know, Caitlin, you're lighting a fire underneath my ass right now.
Well, because see, I love how insightful a lot of, people are always like, oh, I'm a foodie. Well, I love how insightful a lot of these foodies are, because depending on who you're following,
right,
they'll either do a video or they'll interview the chef or they'll, so everybody's kind of like on a different wavelength in terms of what their norm is. And I think it's really fascinating that we could have a cookbook that is very much targeted not in the way that the regular cookbooks are. Okay.
Yes.
So I guess my example for you is, instead of having a cookbook where I flip through the pages and you have the ingredients on one side and the directions on the other in a really pretty picture, I want to kind of flip through a cookbook and see like a couple of questions from the chef who designed the recipe.
Okay.
And then I want to kind of see like the person who wrote the book. Like, I want to see them trying it. Like, I want to see the chef's version and your version. And, not everyone's food is going to come out like the picture.
Right.
Right? And it's like one of those, like, Nailed It, the show.
Okay.
It's on, I think you can find it on Netflix. It's food.
Okay.
And they show you, like, a Pinterest.
Know. Okay, on Netflix.
And then they're like, yeah, nail it now.
Okay.
So I think it would be kind of cool to, like, get a cookbook from someone who's maybe not a classically trained chef.
Which is me.
And just loves food.
Which is me.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's just...
That is a very interesting idea. I think
that would be so cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to take that down as an idea.
You just put together, like, your ideas of, like, your favorite recipes from when you've interviewed chefs and just your experience, right?
Right.
It's all the different... Because you've done a crap ton of different recipes. You try things constantly.
Right.
Put your favorites together.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah,
and like my twist on it as well, like two different versions. Almost.
Exactly.
I think we're onto something.
I think we should do it. Well, not me, but we as in you.
I got you. No, now I'm like, damn. Like I didn't even think about, an actual physical cookbook. I'm thinking, because nowadays everything is like so digital and everything's online and stuff. So well,
you can do a digital cookbook.
Right. Well, I have the website, which I would think is kind of equivalent.
You hear my stomach?
No, I can't.
Oh my God. I thought I could hear it from like my headphones.
I have lobster pizza.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. It's okay. She wants to kill me. I gave her a great idea. Now it's time to die.
No, I'm like, do you want the lobster pizza or not? No, but that's a good idea. Yeah, because I think of it, I think as, I'm understanding more about, the foodie world, because, I'm not up there yet. There's so many people and so many creative pages out there, and, I learn from them too, which is pretty cool.
Right.
Because you pull different ideas of what you like, what you don't like, and, very talented, like, different foodie pages out there. But But as far as, just simply like, making an actual physical cookbook and like, pursuing that and stuff, like I think I'm taking it like step by step. And I think like, now that I have the website, like the cookbook, like an actual physical cookbook would be kind of a good idea. And
I think that'd be cool.
Play different, ideas on, it's about differentiation, right? Like what you're not, what are you doing that's different than, your fellow foodies or what people are looking at,
Well, I mean, but it goes back to what you originally said, is that when you first started, it was very much like your personality, right?
Absolutely.
You're very like, you'll laugh at yourself in a second. You don't take yourself too seriously. It's just, you're just living your life and being funny, and you love food. Mm-hmm. And I think that can translate into a cookbook.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that you can put personality behind a cookbook too.
For sure.
And I love to take suggestions too. Like whenever people kind of like, hey, like I'm like, I want to know, what makes something like easier. Cause I've heard a lot of things like, I don't like, in cookbooks, they have like put about this much, or I don't know, like just some things like that. So like, I'll always like, or, if I put, different items on my food page, or, I'll ask like my different friends, like, what do you think about that? So like, I'm always open to like learning and suggestions and just growing, because I mean, that's how I initially learned to begin with. Like, I mean, think about it. Couldn't even fucking boil pasta, and here I am making lobster mac and cheese.
Yeah. It goes to show you, like, anybody can do, I mean, not to talk down on your boiling water skills, but anybody can do anything.
It's so true. I firmly believe that, like, you just, as long as you're putting effort into something and you're really trying, and you're, anybody can cook, and that's also something that I hope goes behind, anybody that's maybe, making any of my recipes, that a lot of these recipes, like, I want you to know that one time I could not cook, right?
Right.
And here I am making these recipes, so you can fucking do them too. Like,
so do you think you've moved away from your measurements?
I have 100% moved away from my measurements. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I'm in the kitchen all the time. I'm like, that looks good. I'm like pouring it like a little by the little, but it's really all about taste.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I'm almost full at the end of cooking every single time, because I'm trying it so many times and I'm adding different things, and I'm going, no, it needs more garlic. No, it needs more.
You're going to make my mom feel really good about her cooking.
Okay.
Because my mom, like, my mom is a great cook. She's like, so it's funny because you watch her cook and she's like this mad scientist. She's just like throwing things, and she's trying things. But going back to what you said, every time she throws something in there, she's like, oh, I'm just going to take a bite. Oh, I'm just going to do this. Oh, I'm just going to do that. And by the end, she's so funny. She's like, okay, I need to stop because I'm not going to have any food left.
Well, you know what's so funny about that also is, I think the hardest part about making just like the website in general and like doing recipes, because people will ask me that. They'll be like, what's the hardest part about doing it? And I'm like, I don't measure shit. So
oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
It is the hardest thing to try to sit there and measure how much you're actually putting into your recipes, because on your own, like, I don't have to think about it on my own. I'm just throwing stuff in there. I'm just, tasting it as I go. But like, to think about how to like remember how much you put in there and like measure it out and keep doing it, because you'll probably be like, okay, I need a half a cup, and you're like, I need a little bit more than a half a cup, and then you're like, okay, so what's half a cup plus a quarter of a cup, and then no, I added actually a little bit more of a quarter cup. So you're like adding everything. I think that's honestly the hardest part about making the website and the recipes.
So do you end up doing the same dish a couple of times?
Absolutely.
To get the
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I make some of the same dishes by just like, okay, so nobody's also going to want to look at an ugly dish, right?
Of course.
It could taste fucking amazing, but nobody wants to see an ugly dish. So I spend so much time making multiple different dishes solely for the picture, solely for the taste, and like solely for the ingredients. Like, I mean, I'm just, because you have to try it out, because you got to figure out like what the measurements are, and on top of that, like, you got to get the good pictures before. Like, when I first started the page, I used to mess up all the time. And, and I got hungry. I mean, I made this page because I like food. So I would just like start to dig in, and I'm like, oh shit,
Should have taken a picture.
I need to take a picture of that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I have extra ingredients. Maybe I can make some more.
Right.
And take a new. And so I spend time just doing that over and over and over. And so that's the hardest part is just getting the picture right. Even though it's going to still taste good.
Right.
At the same time of just figuring out how much goes into the measurements of the recipe.
So being a foodie and having your own food Instagram and website and soon cookbook, what advice do you give people who are just starting out? Like, how do you maneuver your Instagram? I know some people do themes, some people do patterns. Like, what's your thought process on that?
You just got to make it look pretty. I'm telling you, you got to make it just look pretty. You got to make it aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Yeah. That's
really what catches, people nowadays. Like, as far as your Instagram page goes, I don't know. It's all about eye catching and just, pulling people in with, maybe different things that you're doing. As far as cooking, like how people start in that sense, you just got to start trying.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the way that I really learned is I would just pull up a recipe and I would start from there. And then I would, start to tweak it a little bit to what I liked, know, and then I would start from there. So if you just start to pull up a recipe first, even if you're just fucking baking chicken, we put chicken in the oven, 375. You put, you know what I mean? Like,
shake and bake, guys.
Shake and bake. Apparently, I didn't know what shake and bake was, but now I do.
I need a shake and bake sponsorship with the amount of times that I've said it on this.
Hashtag shake and bake. Shake and bake, shout out. Send us some free food. But it just takes trying. It comes back to, once again, I'm just such a big believer about that. You just got to try. So if you're starting off on your page, if you're starting out on your, maybe making a cooking website, anything, just start. Just do it. Have no thought about it. Just, do you. And if, people have something to say about it, just keep going. Yeah.
Have you ever had anybody like that you don't know could reach out to you and have 2 cents to give to you?
There'll definitely be DMs that I get that will be nasty ones.
What?
But you gotta not let that stuff bother you.
Yeah.
It's or comments, stupid people saying stupid shit, and just making sexual comments or something like that.
The reason that I say to you is because keyboard warriors, they're real. Right?
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that before.
Yeah. They're big and tough behind a keyboard. They're saying things that they'd never say to your face. Right.
Right.
So the reason I asked that is because you're a beautiful woman you're welcome, who enjoys putting together beautiful food, and you put up pictures of yourself on your page with your food. And I almost feel like it's just waiting for someone, and I don't mean it in a negative way, right? No? You're just waiting for someone to have something to say, because they always do.
Right. And when that comes along, it's just one of those things, once again, I don't take myself too seriously.
Yeah.
I never have, I never will. I've had people comment on stuff or this or that, and I just like it. You know what I mean?
Do you really
I
like
literally
them?
just like
Good
the
for you.
Good
for you.
You can't let that stuff bother you. I just think about, I almost feel bad for those people, to be straight up with you, because I just think they're probably at their house sitting behind their computer, something's going on in their life that they're not happy, and obviously they're directing their anger towards me. I don't know why, but you just gotta not take it so seriously and just take it lightly and just keep rolling with it. So that stuff just never, it just doesn't really bother me.
It just doesn't faze you.
It would be probably more bothering if it came from a friend.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
But as far as just stranger, I could not give a shit. I could literally. That's why I like it. I will read stuff and I'm like, somebody's pissed off today.
I mean, listen. At the end of the day, they're giving you an engagement number, right?
That's what I'm saying. Your comment.
You're helping me out.
Thanks for the extra comment. Now I have 37 comments.
Yeah, we gotta get Guy Fieri to follow you. So we just gotta we gotta go in all of your pictures and just tag. Yeah. We gotta get you, me, and 25 of our closest friends.
I'm thinking about I'm going to start sending these, like, these videos of me interviewing the chefs to, like, the Food Network.
You should.
And just, like, start sending it to them and be like, hey, y'all need a female Guy Fieri?
Absolutely, you should. You're laughing. I'm dead serious.
No,
we need to work on, like, your highlight reel. You know how, like, when guys go, like, football or whatever, and they're like, oh, here's his highlight reel.
Yes.
Here's my highlight reel, bitch.
I guess I got to come up with a highlight reel.
Would do, like, a bunch of slow-mos of cheese, like, melting. And
right.
Then pan to you interviewing the chef, and then fade in and out.
Are you for hire?
You know what? I wish I had the balls to go back to school for marketing.
Why is that?
I just think it's awesome.
But why don't you have the balls to go back to school for marketing?
Because marketing is, it's not just the only reason, but marketing is very, very competitive.
Right.
And I'm already in a field where I'm making a decent salary.
Yeah.
Right? I can support myself.
Yeah.
When you are just going into marketing, they pay you like pennies. It's like you really gotta like
I actually have heard that before.
Hustle your way into like a livable salary. And I don't know if I'm really willing. I guess I really don't love it that much.
Isn't that so sad though?
Yeah, it is.
You know, because it's like something that you love and you're interested in doing, but you know that it's not going to pay you, you know, the amount of, it's like teaching for me. I was a teacher.
Yeah.
And I, you know, unfortunately, is the same thing kind of happened.
Yeah.
Like teachers don't get really paid well. And
well, you and I have that in common.
Exactly.
That's why I went into the field that I'm in now.
Exactly. And that's why I'm in sales.
Yeah.
Because, you know, unfortunately it sucks because the money makes the world go around and you have all these passions, but
I think that like that's where I think I struggle, right? Like personally is that I have so many interests.
Right.
And I feel like I'm relatively good at a lot of things.
Okay.
So, you know, I went to cosmetology school.
Right. Yeah. Actually, yeah, she has been like mentioning multiple things.
Yeah.
Me. She's like name dropping things, and she's like, I like am a makeup artist. Like I went to market. I'm like, damn.
I'm telling you, like I love things. Like I love linguistics, right? So like I know English, Spanish, Portuguese. I know a little bit of Russian, and I'm fluent in sign language.
Jesus, somebody wipe this woman up.
And then I like after that I like started in Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and I did that for a while, and then I decided that I wanted to go into insurance. I went into insurance, and then I was like, this is not fulfilling my, I don't know, whatever career goals. And then I went back to school and I got my event planning certificate. So I was an event planner for a little bit.
She does it all. She does it all.
So then I was like, and I worked in event planning for like 6 years, and I worked with like one of the top like wedding planners in South Florida. Yeah, we did like these $1 million wedding. I mean, listen, I did not plan them. I just executed on the day of. Like I was in charge of like getting people to do what we needed them to do.
Yeah.
But it was really cool because it fulfilled a certain level of like the creative part and like the I'm a boss lady part, right?
Like I run shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what I love about this particular area is I love, like, I'm fascinated when the makeup artist shows up. So I went to makeup school and I got certified as a makeup artist. And then I did makeup for a while. And then the woman who I was working with opened up like a brow gallery, and she was like, go get your cosmetology license so you can wax brows. So I went and I got my license. So yeah.
What the fuck?
I'm telling you. So I have so many like genuine interest.
You have so many talents.
Well, I mean, I'm like relatively good at things. It's not like I'm fantastic at, you know, all the things that I've tried.
You can do all those things.
But they're just...
you just like whipped them out of your pocket. Like, hey, like I can do this. Like I can do marketing. Like I can do eyebrows. Oh, by the way, you want your makeup done? Oh, you want me to fucking plan your wedding or a party? Like check that off too.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Like my favorite was like when I was trying to find a name for the podcast, and it's the love-hate with that experience. But like initially I was like, oh, I could name it this, and I could. So one of the things was like I wanted to name it the Woe Podcast, WOE,
like that,
like walking on eggshells, because I'm always fucking like
okay. Okay. I was like thinking, oh my god, my mind went to like the dance. Whoa, it was like whoa.
No, but like I like love that shit. Like I love like the witty part of like marketing and like having double meanings on things, and it's funny because when I decided on the name of the Pull Up podcast, the whole premise is people pull up to my house and we talk about things. Creative. And I had said to someone, they're like, well, maybe the Pull Out pod. And I was like, we're not going to go there.
The Pull Out.
People are going to anticipate something way different than what it is.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, like I creative things to me, like they like totally speak to me. Like,
but that's awesome because, you know, you're doing what you love at the end of the day, but you still, you know, you I don't know, like I view sometimes work as like, you know, you just got to go there, you get your job done, you get your paycheck, and like, you know, you work towards like your passion, but still, you know, getting paid, you know, what you need to get paid on, you know, a day-to-day basis.
I see these people sometimes. There's one in particular that I really love watching her. She's a YouTuber, right? And she's like a lifestyle vlogger, I think is what they're called. Okay. She just like vlogs her life and does her full-time job. And she's absolutely beautiful. She's a plus-size woman. Okay. And she just doesn't give a shit about shit. Oh, those are my kind of woman. She models lingerie, and she's like lingerie haul, and she does not give a damn. And I look at her and I'm like, and I don't mean to make it sound, you know, but I look at her and I'm like, if you can fucking do this, what the am I doing? Amen, Caitlin. Working a 9 to 5.
Amen, Caitlin.
But stresses me the fuck out.
You can do it though.
But that's why I like podcasting, because I know that at some point you have to record it, because that's just the way people take in content now. Yeah. But I love the fact that I can sit here in pajamas and have the same kind of conversation with you if I were in a nightgown. You know, like
she literally was like, we were sitting here talking on the couch, and like we were talking about like life in general, and she was like, whoa, hold up, put on your microphone and pull up the fucking microphone, like I mean the earpiece and everything, like we gotta like get this, like we're talking like normal. It's true, like we're just having like a normal ass conversation while we would coming over for wine night.
Yeah, but that's what I want it to be. Like I want people to feel like when they're listening to the podcast, it's almost like you're listening to your friends catch up on something.
For sure.
But I want people to get something out of it, right?
Absolutely.
So like, I love the fact that you still have your regular full-time job. You're still fucking kicking ass with your Instagram. You still have your fucking website going. You're interviewing chefs, putting together a cookbook. Like we can actually do what we want.
Absolutely. 100% agree. As long as, you know, you're always maintaining, you know, what you want to do on your day-to-day basis and your lifestyle, and, you know, whatever that makes sense to you. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we all do have bills to pay, you know, and we have to make sure that we get those done first. But, you know, passions should always be a thing with everybody, you know, like everybody should have a passion to do something. Like everybody, I think it's so important to like fuel like your soul, and like, you know, because not a lot of people do get to like work in what they love, you know, and it's a hard thing to do. So it's, you know, you want to fill your time with something that you thoroughly enjoy, and this kind of stuff like makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I can do, like, I remember when I was doing the event planning stuff. Yeah. And like, you had to be there like 7 o'clock in the morning, you know, and you were working until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it was like a long,
oh my God,
ass day.
You're giving me like preseason scary vibes of soccer. I'm having like PTSD of waking up at like 5 a.m.
And at the end of the day, I was tired. Obviously, my feet were tired, my body was tired, but my brain was so like full, if that makes any sense.
Oh dang.
You know?
Yeah. Have you thought about ever getting back into it?
I have. The thing with that too is that like there's some level of stability with at least your calendar, right? Your availability to the people who matter in your life. Yeah. When you work a regular 9 to 5, even one that you end up working late. Yeah. Versus something as inconsistent as event planning. I mean, you have to be working for a firm
in order to, and so you were on your own.
I was on my own. I was like I don't know a better way to explain it, but like a 1099 type contractor. Yeah, and I just happened to always work for the same person. We had a great working relationship. We still do. Like, I don't know. I think it can be done. But I also think that the timing is important too.
Absolutely.
You
I
know,
agree.
but I don't know if I could deal with the instability of both in a monetary sense and a time sense.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
I mean, I guess your passions are going to take time
to grow and
but I don't know if it's something I'm willing to do.
Right. Well, especially if it's, you know, kind of unstable as well.
Yes.
We don't live in a life, especially at a time right now.
Yeah.
With, you know, virus, COVID, everything.
Well, but
on,
imagine if, because not right before COVID, I would say like a year ago, I was contemplating like leaving my job and just going and being like a body waxer full time.
Okay. Another talent, guys. Another talent.
No, that goes back to the cosmetology license. You're allowed to like wax people, right? I really like body waxing.
So much.
Don't judge me.
I love you so much.
I was like, I want to wax vaginas. I think they're so pretty afterwards.
Okay.
Like,
did you ever bejewel one?
No.
Was that like a thing?
Not when I was in school.
Okay.
No.
I always like heard about that, and I was always like, are people literally?
I need to Google that.
Are people bejewel? Okay, so
wait.
From what I heard about bejeweling a vagina, is you're literally putting jewels on a vagina. And so in my head, I'm thinking, if everybody wants to put this picture in their head with me, just think about a vagina with shining jewels stuck onto the
first thing
front.
that popped up was vajazzling.
That's what it's called. That's
Crystals
what it's called.
on your crotch.
Dude, imagine wearing.
What does it look like?
I mean, I don't know. I've actually never looked at it.
That gives a new meaning to like put a ring on it. Like, no, like what if? Oh my God! I want to see it.
I want to see it.
It's a butterfly
On a vagina.
She had code. What is this? Hello Kitty. Look at this.
Dear.
But where do they like?
Lord.
What is it? Where? How does it stick?
What in the? This is some white people shit. And I'm white. This is fucking weird as shit.
That's bizarre.
Look at this and tell me if that's comfortable.
There's no way that's
Guys,
comfortable.
it's literally jewels.
But
jewels.
is it,
like think about like instead of your underwear being there, just straight like jewels back to back. Oh, is that a? Oh my dear Lord.
She has I do. But hold on. How does it like?
How is that comfortable?
No, but how do they put it in? Like, is it like the ones that the people do? Like, is it just like they glue it?
I think it's just a glue. I think it's like a temporary thing. Oh my God, I would hope it's just a temporary thing.
I have no idea. Because when you said that, I initially thought like the people that put them like on their cheeks. You know, like the little implant.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like little No, they're not that. They're not like actual
stickers.
Piercings. I think they're just straight stickers. But I have heard that at the waxing spots, because like if you go and get like a Brazilian wax or whatever, like an option on there is bejeweled. And I've always I guess I've never questioned it further because I've never been really interested in bejeweling my vagina. But I'm now thinking about it a little bit. And I'm just thinking to myself, what is the use and why?
Well, here's the thing is that as someone who can do those waxes, like you get irritated. Like I don't care how great skin you have. Your skin gets inflamed. So if I wax you and then I'm attaching jewels to the skin, that can't be good for you.
Wouldn't it?
Because then it's going to contort.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, because you're inflamed. You're depending on, your sensitivity. Like, I can tell you from personal experience, like, it's a balloon afterwards. Like, homegirl needs an ice pack and like a Tylenol, okay? Like,
all you men out here, you can listen to this and understand what it's like waxing a vagina.
But that has to be uncomfortable.
Dude, I'm imagining, think about jeans.
Don't put lace underwear on after that.
No, not even lace. Think about jeans, rubbing up on oh my God. That's gotta be the most uncomfortable. That's like wearing jeans without underwear.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no.
What's funny is I had a supervisor who she's of Hispanic descent, but she's white.
Okay.
right? And her name is Janina. So we call her Juanita.
Juanita.
Yeah, and she, every time something bad is happening, she will go, oh no. So every time we hear her, we're like, uh-oh.
You kind of sound like Mario when you say that.
What?
It's like Mario. Oh no. Oh no.
I don't know what Mario sounds like saying, oh no.
Wait, have you ever played like Mario Kart?
Oh my god, you sound like no. Play with me. No.
His initial response when he gets like hit or anything like that is literally, oh no.
Is it really? I kind of want to play just to hear him say it.
Yes, so that's why I was like, you kind of sound like Mario.
I'm going to have to figure out what it sounds like.
Yes.
Can you play Mario and let something hit him, please?
Yeah. And then you're like, I'm done after 2 minutes.
Yeah, no.
You're like, no more.
No.
Not for me.
No. I don't do video games. I did Guitar Hero.
Did you?
I was hardcore.
You fucked heavy with some Guitar Hero?
Oh, I fucked with Guitar Hero.
Were you in Dance Dance Revolution too?
No.
Okay.
My feet cannot move that fast.
It is a little intimidating. It's like it's too lefty.
I had friends that were like, and I was like, I can't even two-step.
Oh, I loved Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did.
You did really fast? Well, but you played soccer.
Yes, I played soccer.
So you have a lot of like coordination with your feet.
Yes, only feet, not hands.
I played softball. All I had to do was like really
run. You have coordination with your hands then?
With my hands, yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite.
Oh. So you have coordination with your feet but not your hands?
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of, like catch me outside at the basketball court and I can jump maybe a centimeter.
I played basketball in high school.
Were you good?
No.
No?
They put me on the scoreboard. Softball, I was pretty good. I have an arm. But like basketball, I have no like depth perception.
Me neither.
I'm like, yeah, it's gonna go, and it like goes over the.
Do you run into walls too?
Yeah, and I trip over the floor.
Me too.
All the time.
I have no depth perception at all.
You know what Oleg says to me?
What?
If it ain't one thing, it's another. Because I'm hurting myself one way or another. Always.
Yeah, but I feel like they just appear out of nowhere, no?
Yeah, for sure.
Like the ground
the
just
wall
appears out of
could be there for like 5 years.
Yeah.
But it moved.
It moved at least 2 inches forward.
Or when you like grab your like pinky toe in the corner. I do that shit all the fucking time.
Yes, I do that. But I feel like I have a large toe, so I feel like my big toe hits it a lot more.
You got a guard toe or something?
No, actually my friend used to describe my big toe as you remember those like Nokia flip phones?
The ones that wouldn't break. Oh no, the flip phones.
The silver little she used to describe my toe looking like that. It's a very odd description, isn't it?
It is, because I can't imagine how that would translate to your toe.
It really doesn't look like that. I don't know. She always used to tell me that.
It's like the one that was like on Metro PCS.
Yes.
Oh my god. When I got that phone, I was like, I'm the best.
I'm the coolest shit.
I'm the coolest fucking chick. And then the sidekick came out and I was like, fucking hell.
No, but the best part about those flip phones, like I mean the razors, like when you wanted to fucking hang up on somebody.
Oh, it was so satisfying.
You just you fucking slammed that shit.
Yep.
You were like, bitch, and you closed that shit so hard, and it felt like so soothing.
And now you're like,
yeah, you
press
just
the
have
invisible
to,
button.
Yeah, you just gotta press the invisible button hard.
Yeah.
And then like what? You throw your phone after?
Because, we can't even sign a 2-year contract and get a phone for free anymore. Like, we got to lease that bitch. It's like, fuck, and I'm going to have to return it.
Exactly. So we can't even do that anymore.
What the hell? I think we need to bring it back.
I do too. Sidekick.
I wish the Sidekick would come back.
I heard they were actually bringing back I was going to say the blueberry.
Are you hungry? There's pizza.
Maybe. They're bringing back the BlackBerry.
Are they really?
I heard.
I mean, I loved my BlackBerry. The only issue I had with my BlackBerry is like the internet always felt like it wasn't really the internet.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? It always felt like it loaded funny.
I never had one.
You never had one?
No.
It was great for texting and emailing and stuff like that, but everything else, it kind of sucked.
Yeah, no, I never had one. I had like maybe 50 texts a month because my dad kept it very minimum for me. I always went over. I always got my phone taken away from me.
That's funny that you say that. So I never had text.
Okay.
And it was at the time when the regular Nokia had just come out.
Okay.
The like indestructible one.
The one
that had snake
the one
on
that
it.
looks like my toe.
No, the one before that.
Okay.
The one that's not a flip. The blue one. The
oh my God.
One. Yes.
Yes, I know. I used to have that as like a side phone.
Oh my God.
That's so bad.
No, so that
was guys, that was like 9th grade.
Yeah, that's exactly that's right around that time.
Yep.
So it was like middle school was my first phone. Like all you could really do on it was like call my parents and anyone else after 9.
Okay.
And play Snake.
I fucking love Snake.
Yeah. So I was introduced. I had that phone, I think freshman year in high school too, and I was introduced to a gentleman who was in the circle of our friends.
Okay.
And not the one that you're thinking of right now, but someone else.
Got it.
And he was older than me, and I was like, oh my God, like he wants to talk to me. And he just like would text. He didn't call. He didn't.
Okay.
So I started texting him, and I thought to myself, oh, no big deal. You know, a couple of text messages here and there. The bill came at the end of the month, and it was a $750 phone bill.
Oh my God, I know this feeling.
I'll never forget. I got home from school, and my mom was sitting in the dining room table with like the printout, you know, because it wasn't paperless back then. And she was like, come here. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going to die.
You
so I
knew
sit down,
what it was about.
and she just slides the bill
shit.
over. And I was like, oh. She's like, do me a favor. Go get your driver's license. Well, not driver's license. It was like my ID, my state ID.
Okay.
And come back down here and meet me in the car. I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh my God, your mom sounds like really scary.
My mom, I don't know if I remember my mom.
Okay, we're on the same page with that one.
She put me in the car. She drove me. I'll never forget. She drove me to Bank of America. And mind you, I had no idea what was going on.
Okay. You didn't know that the cell phone was an issue.
No. I knew this bill was a problem.
Okay.
I didn't know what the repercussions were going to be. I was still trying to figure out, making sure that she wasn't like going to kill me and like burn my ID so that nobody knew. You know what I mean?
Leave you dead in the woods.
So, which wouldn't be that far-fetched because where we lived, it was like the last street and then it was just all farmland.
I could have seen you on like the first 48.
Yeah.
Dateline.
Yeah. So she got me in line at the bank and we got to the teller and the teller looks at me and goes, how can I help you? And I just look up at my mom and mom was like, she'd like to close her account and cash it all out. Hundreds, please. And it was this bank account that my parents had set up for me that every time I got like birthday money, holiday money, they were just like, I'm going to put it in your bank account. And over time I had like $1,000 in there. Like it's a lot at that age.
Oh my God, at that age is, yeah.
Yeah. So she friggin' cashed out the account, closed it out completely.
She's a badass.
She was like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. She goes, stop, please. She goes like this. I hand her. Literally, I paid for this cell phone.
Your mom.
I never went over.
Badass. I was about to say,
yeah. No.
Never again, right?
Never again.
That's the way to do it with kids, though.
And it wasn't even like the money, like, because I didn't really understand.
No,
like,
but she proved her point.
Oh,
and you knew
yeah.
you were never gonna do that shit again.
Oh yeah, and it was just like the state of like fear. Yeah, I mean, my mom never hit us. My mom never. But my mom, like, all she has to do is talk to you like this.
Oh my God.
And just say I'm very disappointed.
Oh fuck, that's the worst.
And my mom is one of those that'll be like, I'm really upset. I don't want to talk to you right now. And I was like, no,
that's
please
the
want to talk.
Disappointment thing is the worst. That's my father.
That's your dad?
Yeah, my father to a T.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
See, my dad will scream and yell. My dad will get it out. My mom is silent, which I think is worse.
It's 100% worse because it's like, you know, like if you get in trouble, especially when you're a kid and you get yelled at and you get in trouble a lot, whatever, like you're a kid, that's what's going to happen. But it hits you different when somebody is like, you know, I'm just disappointed in you. And you're just like I feel like you like reflect immediately. And it's like all these thoughts and you're like,
Yeah.
My dad or my mom
Yeah.
is disappointed. It hits you different. I remember my mom used to like, whatever, whenever I got in trouble, and then my dad would just come by and I was more, it was kind of like when my mom did it. Of course, I was very scared of my mom. But my dad was just so calm and like mellow-tempered, and he did this thing where he would just come in your room and he would just stare at you.
Oh my God.
And like if you did something wrong, like me, because
I
was the only girl in the family. And my brothers got some ass whoopings. But he would stare at me and he would just like shake his head for a few seconds and just keep staring. He'd be like, so disappointed, Eva. And I would just like, I'm not telling you, be like shaking in my fucking boots. Not even like, I shouldn't even say shaking in my boots.
Yeah.
It wasn't even more of a scared thing. It was like, oh my God, my heart just dropped out of my asshole. Yeah.
You're not actually fearful. You're just so disappointed with yourself that you disappointed them.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I was fearful of my mom. My mom, you can ask any of my friends, my mom was probably the scariest.
Which I think is so funny because I've met your parents and they're so like delightful. They're so like sweet.
Listen, when I turned 21, everything changed. It's the weirdest thing. Like growing up, my brothers used to tell me like, just wait till you turn 21. It's like a whole different ball game. It's because my mom's like a very big rule follower, right? She loves to follow the rules. You don't drink until you're 21, stuff like that. She's just a very big rule follower.
Yeah.
So it just, like, I guess like when you turn 21 and you become like legal and like drinking and all of that, like, I mean, we went to Vegas for my 21st birthday. It was Bree, Kelsey, Kelly, and I. And it was my 21st and my mom came and my mom was like funneling like shots at me. I'm telling you that it was like a switch overnight.
That's so interesting.
It's so interesting, but I guess it's just like I kind of came to like the conclusion that she's like just a very big rule follower.
Yeah.
And when that happened and my brothers told me, they're like, just wait till you turn 21. Everything's about to change. Like she's different. And it was like that. Like when she turned 21, it was like this whole different change and relationship too, which was awesome. But I feel like you do like a flip, like you go one or the other as a parent. Yeah. Because my mom has told me stories about how her mom was extremely lenient. And my mom with me growing up was extremely strict on me. So I think it goes like, so maybe in your sense,
it's really funny like, that you say that because my mom talks about how strict her mom was on her. And my mom talked about it on the podcast. My mom was like, yeah, I was like 14, 15. And one of my friends was like, is that your mom in the bushes? And my grandmother had hid in the bushes, like just making sure my mom wasn't like horse playing with boys.
Shout out to G-Mom, man.
And sure enough, she was horse playing with boys. Like, yeah. And my mom has always been very like, make your mistakes because you're going to be the one to deal with it.
And I agree with them. See, once again, it's like I'm sitting here and I'm going, I agree with that. Like you're going to make your own mistakes and you're going to kind of live through it. But it's like probably the opposite of what my mom would tell me growing up. So it's like, am I following that same trend of like, her mom did that to her and then I
don't know. I just think it's funny how exactly what you said, like it levels itself out, like strict, lenient, strict, lenient.
Right.
I guess that means my kids are screwed.
Does it?
Oh, I guess. Because my mom was pretty lenient. Does it mean my
kids are screwed too? No. Yeah, it means
No. It means your kids are set. It means your kids are going to be a bad influence on my kids.
Literally, you're not the first person to tell me that. I think all my friends are like, oh, dear Lord, when Eva has kids, let's all pray. I definitely think I'll be the one that messes up.
No.
But I have motherly instincts. I definitely know that. That comes from the teaching side.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think anybody who goes into that field has to have at least a little bit of it.
Absolutely. You have to.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what Brie and Han's kids come out like. I feel like they're going to be little hippies.
They're going to be little hippies,
right?
Like, traveling the world. It's going to be like, they're going to be the best, and they're just going to be so laid back, and they're like, whatever. Let's just go with it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like I hope I'm like that too.
Yeah.
Just like go with it, roll with the punches. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
Well, did you ever come to like a moment where you were like, oh shit, my parents don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just kind of winging it as they go? Because I know I did.
Never.
I totally did.
I was so naive.
Really?
I was so naive because I'm telling you, when I say that I was like petrified of my mom and like just so looked up, looked up to both of my parents,
right.
but especially just because like the soccer thing and that whole thing with my dad playing, like I very much like looked up to him a lot. So it was like both sides. Like I always thought that they were in the right. I always thought, or not in the right. Like I would think to myself,
they knew
right,
it.
But they knew what they were
doing.
It never once questioned my. Like I think it took me till like 25 to be like, oh shit, they really winged the fuck out of this. They didn't know what they were doing either, because it almost takes like my best friend Kelsey just had a kid.
Yeah.
And it almost takes, seeing somebody like in your, I don't know, because it's like weird seeing her have a kid. Like that's my best friend. That's like my ride or die, my sister. And it's like weird seeing it, but she's winging it. She's got no idea. And she'll tell me that all the time. And like, I mean, they're raising like the best kid too. So it's like, I was so naive to it. I didn't even think any different. Yeah. I feel like maybe you're getting to the point of like, it's a full circle, because guess what? When you have kids, it's kind of the same thing that, they're going to go through that, or you're going to go through the same thing that they went through. And as a kid, you don't realize it, and you're like, why is my parent acting like a dick or like stuff like that? And you don't really understand it as a kid. But, I kind of had that moment. That's one moment I did definitely have where I'm like, holy shit. Like this is like, everything that they did is something that I'm going to have to deal with in mine. And it comes full circle at the end of the day. And you realize it's like, holy crap, they're just doing their best.
Yeah. And then after you've like become comfortable with that realization, then you actually become comfortable with the realization that your parents are like people.
Yes.
Right? Like you stop like, oh my God, my mom is actually Maria.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like an actual human being with a name.
Yeah. And then, as stupid as that sounds, like you start to realize like, my parents are just as imperfect as everybody else.
Absolutely.
And they have their beautiful things about their personality, and they have their things that maybe, you could do without, but that's why we're imperfect humans.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's the beautiful part about it too. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that totally shifts the relationship you have with your parents.
I think, and I feel like it probably doesn't happen until and it like maturity sets in too. Yeah. And everybody matures at a different level, at a different time, a different age, everything. And like, I honestly don't think I matured until I was like 25. If you want me to be real. So
I think I'm still working on it.
I mean, I'm still working on it too, but if you like really think about 5 years ago, like where you were at, like from today, and like what your thought process was, and like how you think about life in general and things, and maybe little small things that used to bug you or big, you know what I mean? That it's like, I can look at myself and I'm like, holy shit, I have grown so much from 5 years ago of like just different things about how I feel about myself, like as a woman, as like my strength and what I think and shit like that. So like, I don't know about you, but it's like, I feel like in your 20s, you just grow so much in your thought process and your maturity level as well.
I had a friend tell me, she's like, I think she's 33, 34. Yeah. And this was before I turned 30. She said to me, you will see your whole life will change when you turn 30. And I was like,
that's scary.
Shut up. Like, okay, yeah, of course life is going to change, but like how much could possibly change from one day to another? It's just another, year of whatever. And let me tell you, she could not have said something more true.
More accurate?
More like.
So you think in your 30s, it's been like a whole different ball game for you?
I feel like when people tell you your 30s is because I've had people tell me, oh, college is the best time of your life. I don't think so. I think college fucking sucks. Okay. That whole time, like, just sucks. You're figuring it out. You don't feel like an adult. You still feel like a kid. You're not sure how to act. You're not sure how to dress. Right. Like, I think I went through a period where I went to, like, Goodwill, and I bought, like, 8 blazers. Okay. And I just thought that I should wear blazers and, like, heels and jeans all the time. Okay. And that was, like, my version of being a grown-up. And then later I was like, oh, fuck this. I want, like, sweatpants and, like, a t-shirt. But like now it's almost like you become very confident in just like whoever you are.
It's one of the things. It's like, who gives a fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you hear that as you get older and you talk to a lot of people, and it's like you think you don't give a fuck now, and just wait till you're like 50. Yeah. Or like you're really like shit's just coming out of your mouth left and right, and you're not even thinking twice about it because you just don't care anymore.
Which is ironic because sometimes we I mean, at least for me, some people in my family, like, they'll say shit and I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like, I don't know how we got here.
I don't either. We went off on like a really long tangent.
That's okay.
I guess that means it's a good podcast because we're just straight talking.
I think that's what it's about, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love when we can have a conversation and it goes wherever the fuck it goes.
Yeah. Well, let me give you a little gist. I think we took a left turn at the Bejeweled Vaginas.
I do think that's where we took a turn.
I think that's where the turn, like, it went from cooking into Bejeweled Vaginas, into parenting skills, so we really took a turn.
This is going to be... see, here's the thing, and this is maybe something that you struggle with. What? Too, right? Like when I go to post a podcast, like there's always something in particular that maybe I want to talk about,
right?
And just by nature, you go into other topics, which is fine and beautiful and amazing. But when it's time for me to title my podcast, like I'm sitting here going, cooking Bejeweled Vagina.
I was about to say,
and like, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, you just need to name it Bejeweled Vaginas and just let everybody like see what the fuck it's about.
Cookbooks and bejeweled vaginas. Bejeweled. Say it 5 times real fast.
Bejeweled vaginas, bejeweled vaginas, bejeweled vaginas, bejeweled vaginas, bejeweled vaginas.
Yes! I don't think I could do it either. I just wanted to see if you could do it. Yeah, I know.
This podcast definitely has some interesting topics.
I love it. Like when we're like in this space where we're just talking about whatever, I'm always like, this is when I wish I could be on the radio.
Right?
Because this to me is like what I would love to listen to on the freaking radio.
Same, me too. Well, I don't know about you, I'm sure you do, but I listen to certain podcasts sometimes from time to time. I'm obsessed with reality TV, so I mean we could also go on a tangent on that.
We have that in common.
But I mean, I'm sure you know Stassi from Vanderpump Rules.
Yes.
So I listened to her podcast, and
I didn't know she had one.
You should listen to it.
Yeah.
Yes, she has a podcast. Also, I'm not a reader, so I did a simple like audiobook for her book as well. Both are like amazing, and so that's what kind of like interests me. And I was like,
how interesting!
It's and you should definitely just listen to it regardless. And I heard Lala Kent and her husband Randall, they have a podcast right now, and I've had a few friends that like are into Vanderpump Rules and everything. They said it's amazing too.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a podcast, I love them. They're called Almost 30.
Okay.
Almost 30, and it's literally all about like female fucking empowerment. And I'm not the biggest feminist,
right?
Because
same,
I don't have a problem staying home, cooking and cleaning and raising kids if you're gonna support me.
Okay.
Like so that's like, that sounds like the dream, kind of, sort of.
I just love like good like women jokes. I know this sounds so bad. Oh my god, the
viewers
hilarious. Are gonna maybe hate me for this, but I just like love a good like, you know, like what is that?
Give me one.
It was something about like, I'm going to mess this up. I don't know. It was some joke about like, where's the best place to find women? And it's like in the kitchen or jokes like that. Or like, you know, like, there's like a meme and it's like a bunch of cars like piled up and it's like, Women's Independence Day got crazy or some shit. You know what I mean?
But I feel like the moment that we start to take ourselves too seriously, there's a problem.
Yes, of course. Like you can make fun of that stuff. Like at the end of the day, like hell yeah, women empowerment. I'm a fucking female. Like hell yeah, I'm gonna support that at the end of the day. But like if you can't make fun of yourself, who like?
Yeah.
What you know? Man, those politicians love Twitter, don't they?
I don't. Okay, are you big on Twitter?
No, I don't have a Twitter
I don't
account.
understand Twitter.
I think it's like just like I like to look at Twitter of like your thought of the day. Like I don't like I can't imagine myself going on Twitter and being like thinking about cooking a turkey today. Post. You know what I mean? Like they're literally like thoughts. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about Twitter and I'm like not well versed in it. I've used Twitter in the past and it's like a bunch of like retweets and like I don't know. It's like more of like I like to stay far away from. I don't have Facebook anymore, which is bad probably for just like really putting myself out there.
Right.
But I don't like anything that has so many words with so many thoughts of just people's different opinion.
Yeah.
I just don't care. Like, it's for me, it's like, I don't want to read your opinions. I don't like, you know, it's just because I feel like the internet nowadays, especially as far as like Twitter or as far as like Facebook, everybody has an opinion. It's fine to have an opinion, but it's the ones that you just see go on and on and on and on and don't stop, and then this and that. And it's like, I stay far away from Facebook and Twitter because like it's just kind of like all talked about there. And Instagram is just straight pictures, and there is not much. I mean, there's a lot of political shit behind it as well. But as far as like reading about a lot of things, there's not much words you can put into Instagram. So I try to stay. I mean, it's just because it's just a lot.
My thing is just like,
especially when I'm not into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because that's not even like
that's not even my lane.
Interest.
I'm not
like,
my interest. I don't. You know, people are probably gonna kill me because I'm like, I don't like, you know, think much about like politics. I'm like,
well, but I feel like there's a lot of people who feel the same way.
Yeah.
And I think that particularly in the political environment that we're currently in, like with the level of personal offense that people take with your own viewpoint, like I think that what you're doing is the exact opposite of what society as a whole is trying to encourage. So we're trying to encourage people to be involved and vote and like really use their civic duty as a way to change the world. Great, fantastic, rainbows and butterflies.
Right.
But the people who are like you, who don't necessarily want to even go there, if you had even just a minute interest, the fact that people are behaving in that way is going to completely turn you off. I mean, it would for me.
It turns me completely off. Like, I want nothing to do with it. I'm like, you guys, like I don't want to, like, that's, you know?
Yeah. And
just, I don't know. I guess, like, there's so many other things to worry about in life. And just, like, you know, like, that to me is like and obviously different priorities as well. You know, sometimes, you know, some things that, you know, politics are some people's priorities, and that's great. That's what makes the world go round, right? If everybody was interested in the same thing, shit wouldn't work out. Right. But yeah, it's not top of mind for me. It's really bad because I should be more involved in like my voice and my opinion, but
I think that there's beauty in knowing what you want to contribute to and what you would like to stay away from.
Absolutely.
Especially now.
I'll contribute to eating. That's my
contribute to cooking. I'll eat what you cook. Just no lobster pizza.
I volunteer as tribute.
The people that I follow on Instagram, like there's a couple of foodies that I follow on Instagram that I was mentioning earlier, and I would love to like know like what they're actually like.
What they're like?
I
would too.
Right?
Yeah.
So like I think that this gives anybody who enjoys your content and your videos and your recipes and stuff like that, I think it gives them like a real insight on a little bit of what you're like, because this is exactly what our conversations are like.
It is.
When there's no recording on.
It absolutely is. I mean, well, it's unfiltered. I'm sure everybody has already noticed that one.
Yeah, well, explicit.
Very explicit.
My podcast, and I have the little E. I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
And it just shows that as explicit. Like that.
It just always shows it's explicit. I just didn't want to have to like beep anything out.
So do you think, I would actually be interested, do you think that you'll have any other foodies on here? Because I would be interested in their other point of views and like.
I think that would be cool.
That would be cool.
I don't see. I'm still like new in the way that I'm still asking my friends to do me favors by coming on my podcast, right? So I would love to be able to get. There's a couple of them that I really like.
Shout them out. Which one?
Let's see. Sweet Portfolio is one.
I know. Okay.
I love her.
Yes. Yes.
Like, she's just like funny, and
isn't she from New York?
She's from here.
Let me see her page real quick.
Yeah, here. And it's funny because sometimes she
it's a different one of what I thought of what I was thinking.
She makes fun of herself, and she's like, "This is what you actually think I eat every meal, and this is what I actually eat."
Okay.
Like,
yeah,
she's just.
Yeah, she seems cool. That would be a cool one to interview.
Her, and then there's one more, the Naughty Fork.
Oh, well, yeah, that's the biggest one.
Is she?
Yeah, she's like all over the place.
Is she really?
In Miami.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got almost 1 million followers.
Yeah, she has
Forbes
a lot.
30 under 30?
Dude,
are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait.
Like she has like a whole like like a partnership with berries.
It goes to show you though, like I've never looked to see like how many people. I just like her content. Like I came across her content. She has
great content, yeah.
But see, here's the thing, and this is what I think I struggle with personally with having the podcast, having Instagram.
Yeah.
Is that it's not like my podcast is currently recorded, like on video.
Right.
So it's not like I can post a 30-second snippet of my podcast, because that's why I do a podcast and not YouTube.
Right.
And I don't really know what the hell to post.
As far as...
like just in general, because I know that you have to be like consistent to get the right algorithms, like for your stuff to be to be in like the
attraction to the page is hard, right?
Yeah. You post like these beautiful pictures and videos of food. Like, I mean, I can give you a slow-mo of me like talking on the microphone, but like nobody wants to see that. I don't know.
It's almost like you got to get like almost like a little bit creative. I know it's like sounds like very like vague.
Yeah.
But it's like comes back to like one of those things where like what differentiates you like from, everybody that's doing podcasts, like, and it's like you almost got to be like,
and maybe that's my struggle. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? When I first started my page, I had no idea. I was like, what's going to make me different than, like all the other pages, like the foodie pages.
Right.
And you kind of have to like navigate it and figure it out and figure out like, what works best for you. Like I said, like I used to do these crazy like videos, like music videos of like, it's like, she's going to look it up now.
I gotta look it up.
But
she's like said this 3 times and now I'm like,
it's so,
no, I have to look.
Because it's honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, it's a little embarrassing, but I keep them up there just because I like laugh at them. Like, and I like look back and I'm like, but Lord, girl, what were you doing?
You have a lot of followers too.
I have a decent amount.
3,400 followers. That's a lot of people, man. I remember I got to 100 and I was like, yeah. And then I lost a follower and I was like, no, come back.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was the thing to do in the beginning. When you watch the video, you'll know what I mean. It's like scroll to the very like beginning, and like I try to find myself in my ways and like how to be in my. I feel like my page before was not as like appealing to the eye too, and that's something that I picked up on as well. And like, for example, like the most recent one I did, I tried to do like when I'm trying to do different with like interviewing the chefs, right? Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that I'm doing different. But also like I try to pair whatever I'm doing with. So for example, I got a fried chicken necklace because I was interviewing at a fried chicken spot. You get what I mean?
That's awesome.
I try to pair, different items with like where I'm going because it stands out. It like makes like I'm not. You can see from my dress code right now. I don't dress like a nice girl. I dress in like sweatpants and like t-shirts and stuff like that. And so like, I wanted to like kind of go forward with like my profile with like just simply being me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I dressed up
trying.
a lot in the videos in the beginning and you'll see them and like they're like, they're not me. They're really not me.
They're really not you.
No, that's
because
not.
I think I've only ever seen you like full on like at a wedding.
Yeah.
I think you're very laid back.
I'm very laid back. Extremely laid back.
I know, but you know what? So I think that a lot of times as a woman, there's a negative connotation to being laid back.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is. Because you're always laid back, but you always have mascara on. Mm-hmm. Your hair is always like neat.
Thanks.
It is. It is. I struggle a lot with that. Like I'm 0 to 100.
You look great.
But I'm 0 to 100.
I don't think I've ever seen you
really
at 0.
Really?
No.
Oh. Then I shouldn't have put makeup on today.
Like you want to see me at 0? Let me take this shit off.
I don't know if we're gonna take a picture, so I should probably try at least from the neck up.
Amen. Amen. No, but it's true. You gotta be yourself. You gotta be yourself, man. Yeah. Like especially with this podcast, like you'll figure out your ways and you'll figure out like I'm still navigating, I'm still learning. Yeah. Like that's why I follow all these foodie pages because it's like so interesting to understand and like learn from them. Like I'm never going to be perfect. I know that there's always growing that there needs to be done.
Right.
Within my page, within my life, like in general, like, you grow. And so like, you're just going to figure that out as you go. And it's like, you're going to find something, you're going to do it. And you're like, oh shit, that drove like a good amount of traction. Why did that drive traction? Oh
Yeah.
shit. Okay. Now I like doing this.
because you're looking at it strategically at that point. You're looking at it in a business standpoint. You're not so much looking at it like, I love chocolate and this picture's cute. You're actually, I think it's fascinating, like the things that we have accessible to ourselves in terms of like Instagram, when you have a business Instagram and it gives you like your insights.
Right.
It's like incredible. Like it tells you what time people are looking at your stuff.
What
like,
your growth is.
Yeah.
How many people. Yeah. It's a really cool because it keeps you, I mean, it's encouraging to know, as well as like who's watching and how many people. And
well, I made the mistake of finding the insights on my podcast.
Okay.
I don't want to call it a mistake, but it's always good to know, right?
Right.
And I was looking at them, and it tells you like how long people listened before they said "fuck this."
Okay.
And I think one of them was like 47 seconds, and I was like, that wasn't a great episode. Then I'm gonna have to not do whatever I did on that episode. So it's
but honestly, you started this a month ago too.
Yeah.
Like my page I started in 2017.
Well, but then the question is like, when did you really decide that you wanted to like hardcore go on the food stuff?
That's a good question. So when I started in 2017, I should say for the first like year and a half, 2 years, it was really just fun and play. Like I was just messing around. It was fun. I had my videographer with me and, he was just doing different photos and we were just like playing around. That's why we had all those videos and stuff. I think it was this year where I was like, okay, like, you get into one of those modes. Like I started a new medical sales job last year, right? And I had stopped my page for a while.
Right.
And I started to notice like, holy shit, like that was something that made me happy. Like, doing cooking and sharing my recipes and, just, cooking in general and showing it to everybody and just, having them have my recipes accessible to them. So I was like, fuck, like I gotta get back into this. But if I want to do it this time around, like I gotta be like, not serious to a point where you're like killing yourself and you're like, oh my God, we just talked about this, like I didn't post this week. It's okay. And that shit happens. And like, it's not that big of a deal, but like I took it seriously this year. And like, I've seen like a crazy amount of growth from actually just taking it serious and just putting it into action. And it's really just, as far as like when I say taking it serious, just kind of doing exactly what I want to do, like passion wise, like I just put it into action really. And then I curated like ideas. I was like, okay, so now I'm having all these food and I'm posting this and, I've done stuff where I fucked up, like I did something that I had like a Tipsy Tuesday thing where I like, I was teaching different recipes and it's all about trying and like seeing. I saw that, it didn't really gain that much traction from it. So I was like, all right, next, on to the next.
Yeah.
But like, you just like figure that out like as you go and it's just like, it starts to form. And then I was like, okay, I curated the idea like, what if my next step, like I'm now growing this and this is actually, once I saw it to kind of become like a little bit more legitimate, I was like, I wonder what would happen if I booked at different restaurants. And I was like, people are booking at restaurants. Why can't I do it?
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
like, and I was like, but what would make mine different than them just being in the kitchen, like seeing the food? And then that's when I thought of the idea of the whole, interviewing the chef.
Well, I think that's a fantastic idea because you're essentially giving credit where credit is due.
Absolutely.
Because you can be a foodie and record the process, but you're still not, not to take credit away, but you're still not the person who's actually making the art, and the art is the food.
Absolutely.
So it's cool to highlight the actual artist.
Exactly. And that's something that I appreciate the most because, and I think that's why like it's cool to me too because, and not to downplay any of, the food pages or anything, but a lot of the food pages will simply just show the making of the food, right? And that's just it. You see it put together and it's amazing. It looks amazing and putting it together. But I can relate to these chefs, not on their level where they've gone to school and stuff like that, but it's something that we can both talk about and it's something that like I can relate to them. So I'm not just walking in as like your average foodie that loves food and loves to watch food and loves to like see you make food. Like I can actually have a conversation about it as well. And we can speak to different, ingredients and how different things are made. And once again, kind of like the whole diners, drive-ins and dives, like he's a chef, like he can speak to that. He can talk to them about it. And it's, once again, it falls in with personality. Like, do you have the personality to be able to, interview these people and sit down with them, make them feel comfortable like you do, like it's a skill that you have to try to do. So it's just one of those things that I made sure that like, okay, like I want to really show my personality with the cooking and like highlight the chef at the same time. Like, how can I do that? So it's just stuff that you pick up on and you start to, and who knows, like you just put an idea in my head today about an actual physical cookbook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just starts to kind of, as you start to gain traction, you start to, or not traction, but just ideas.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't try it.
I just think the ideas are endless. Like with what you enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, one of the things that sets you apart is that you enjoy actually making the food as well. Right.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think you should, like, I'm telling you, you need that highlight reel.
Food Network.
Because you need to send
Food
it to
Network.
Food Network. And don't go, I mean, you can start off with, like, WSBN.
What's WS? Should I know what that is?
The news station.
Oh, okay.
Like Channel 7 News, they
That's
have
true.
like Deco Drive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have like a
You
segment
see me
of
thinking
food.
like too big. I'm like, Food
No,
Network, hit
not
me
at
up.
all. No, not at all. I'm 100% with that. But I'm saying, like, in order to like grow your,
Yeah, you're right.
I want to say your audience, but yeah, your audience, because that's the goal at the end of the day, is to continue to grow your audience and be able to at least not substantiate, but to support yourself with what your passion is.
Right.
So
It's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Do I think Food Network is shooting too high? Absolutely not. But I think that you also have other avenues locally too.
Yeah, that's the true statement. See, once again, like we're just sitting here talking about it, and it's like one of those ideas that was just, you know, like I would have never thought about a physical cookbook, and then now you're like, what about like local stations that would have never like crossed my head? But
I mean, literally, like you come down and like, listen, I'll put together a 15-minute piece. I'll do all the production. I'll do all that stuff. I'll hand it over to you. If you like it, you like it.
And if you don't, kind of
if you
like
don't, then oh well.
your intro videos, right?
Yeah.
Like an L. Should I make like an Elle Woods like one?
Oh my God. Yes. Get
Hi,
like a pizza
Diva.
bikini. Yes. Pizza bikini and like fried chicken in your hand.
And I'll be in the pool and be like, hi, I'm Cookbook Diva. It'll
love
be
it.
just my, what do they call that? I'm like blanking on the word. Not your intro, like, what is it called?
What is it called? It's like on the tip of my tongue.
Right? Audition tape.
Yeah,
right?
Essentially,
Audition
it's like an audition tape. There's another word for it that I'm
Yeah.
thinking of, but yeah, that's essentially what it is.
Yeah,
It's an
there is
audition
another
tape.
word that I know.
Yeah.
I can't think about the other one, but yeah, that could be like my audition tape.
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely. I'm Cookbook Diva. Or I could just start off with the jingle.
I'll give you the recording.
I could take it home with me. I can't wait.
You can come and record it here if you want.
I'm gonna use that on all my videos. Yeah, I'm gonna come back and like come sing like Mariah Carey for you on these microphones.
It's nice, right? You're gonna sing now, aren't you?
I am. I'm just kidding.
I was telling you off of the recording, but let me tell you, when I finally got all of this connected, because technology and I are not friends.
Right.
We're not friends. So I like fought tooth and nail to like figure out how to connect all this stupid shit. Like there's a bunch of crap.
It works great.
Thanks. And when I finally got it to work, that I could hear myself on the headphones, I was like,
Yeah, it just makes me
it's
like
so
it makes
cool.
me like want to like sing like a rap, like, you know, when I was a kid, like I used to know like Holiday Inn, like Harp, you know.
Oh my
where they're
God.
Like, what you doing? Nothing, chilling at the holiday. Stop, drop, kaboom, baby, rub on your nipples. Some call me Ludacris, some call me Mr. Wiggles. Far from giggle, make your memory glands jiggle. Got 'em under control, with a folded to the leader. Dr. Niggles, I can't stop until it tickles. Just play
you
a
know
little.
this is going to go on the podcast, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I
I
was
was
like
just making
looking-
sure. I was talking to my mom about this, and I was like, should I have like a release? And she was like, yes.
A release as in what?
Yeah, like just like when you take pictures of people,
Yeah.
you need like a release to
Okay.
confirm that it's good, that you put it up somewhere.
Got it, yeah.
Like, let me tell you, you learn a lot about yourself
Yeah,
when you're just like, there's no one for you to like depend on.
I know.
Like my friend has a YouTube. They just started a YouTube. They're pregnant, and her husband does all the editing. Like she sits there.
A
she
lot
records.
of those people do. Like it's. I mean, except for these very large pages,
Right.
right? That have like a whole marketing team behind them and
Right.
everything. Majority of them, it's a one-man show. They're doing
Yeah.
everything. They're editing, so it's like, you know, unless they're outsourcing, you know, videos and stuff like that.
That can get expensive though. No,
Dude,
like
yeah, it can. It definitely can. It can get expensive. It can. I mean, videographers aren't cheap. And
I don't know.
the thing is, videographers aren't cheap. But at the same time, the amount of work that is put in,
Right.
as you know, because you're
Mhm.
editing, I do edits too for different smaller videos that I make. the editing is grueling. Like it's tedious.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. So it's like, I think that they deserve what they get paid, though.
Oh, for
at the
sure.
end of the day. Like, it's a lot of fucking work. It's a lot of just sitting there doing the same thing over and over, back and forth, back and forth.
And I've made the mistake of like not re-listening to the whole thing when I'm done editing.
Okay.
And like, I posted like a bloopers episode.
Okay.
Like week before last, and it was like a bonus episode. It wasn't like a regularly. And I like input the same sound clip twice, like back to back.
Okay.
And the guy that I was talking to in the sound clip, he was like, "Hey, you put like the sound clip twice," and I was like, "Fuck it, it's published,
YOLO."
it's staying.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to hear the story a second time or fast forward.
Yeah.
Because I can't. Like, you know, I want to make the podcast very professional, but at the same time, I am not going to lose my head.
Don't. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not worth it. Like, you just do what you can, and, you know, like, the thing is, you always have to remember when you do stuff like this, and, like, I tell a lot of my friends that have, you know, like, side passions and stuff, it's like, you got to remember, like, that, you know, what's important first, you know, like, you did this simply because it was your passion.
Right.
You know, simply because you enjoyed it. So don't make it not your passion.
Well, I look at like Natalie, and she does all of these videos for Monet, and she kills it. She kills it. Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, how does she have the energy?
She is literally, her and Brie are probably the two hardest workers I know. Like, they do not stop. Like, it's there such, like, I was talking to Natalie actually about this today. I was like, girl, you got to give yourself a break. Like, because she's a nonstop worker. I mean, I appreciate it because it's honestly, Natalie and Brie, they're two of them. Natalie puts so much work into, like, you know, her day-to-day job in medical sales, and on the weekend, and I mean, when she gets home from work, she's doing all her Monet stuff, and then on the weekend she's doing all of her Monet stuff too.
Well, the thing too with like the Monet stuff is like, it's not like you can post a picture like looking all fucked up and your hair's beautiful.
Right.
Like, she looks done head to toe anytime, and I'm like,
she looks fabulous all the time.
I wish I had like desire
to do that.
Terrible.
Same,
like,
dude,
you know,
putting on makeup today, I was like, oh shit, who's this person? Who the fuck's this? But no, because it's a lot. Like, girls to wear makeup and put it on, I feel you, because it's like, it's a task.
It is a task.
It's a lot.
What's the male equivalent of putting makeup on in terms of effort? I don't think there is one. I was trying to think of it, because there's definitely things that like,
maybe like if you're kind of like more of a bushy man, grooming, I would say maybe is equivalent. But once again, you're only doing that.
I'm a bushy woman. I put a lot of effort into not being a bushy woman.
So you're like, I do that and I put on makeup.
Bitches.
So fuck you. I mean, I don't know. There really isn't. I don't think guys know how much like women actually put into.
Yeah, I don't think they
at all.
Yeah. I mean, I know that, like, even recently, like, I've been with someone that's like, hey, we gotta go in like 22 minutes. I'm like, wait, what? What do you mean? What?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that we needed to go in 22. You just said this afternoon.
Right.
Well, so how long is it gonna take you to get ready? Like 20 minutes? I don't know about you, but like, if I know that I have to go somewhere where I have to look halfway decent, I like think about the time I have to be there.
Oh,
and then the time I have to leave. And then the time that it's going to take me to do the makeup. And then I backtrack. And then I'm like, oh, I have to start getting ready 3 hours.
100%. Yeah. I just, I don't put a lot of, I am the epitome of getting ready in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, not me.
Honestly, just because I don't put okay, so how you're looking at me now is literally like, you can ask all my friends growing up, like in high school, college, middle school. I didn't try. This is trying, right? You're looking at somebody with like mascara on and foundation and a sweatshirt. So this is trying.
Yeah.
But like growing up, I didn't even try to like, I put no makeup on. I wore sweatpants, a t-shirt every single day. It was funny because I would go to parties, and when I showed up to parties in jeans and a t-shirt, because I would be like, I still went to parties in t-shirts. It was so weird. And I'd put like some makeup on. They would be like, I actually liked it because they would be like, oh damn, like you look, damn Eva, you look good as fuck. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm really, and it would be simply wearing jeans and a t-shirt because that's how much I did not dress up. This is the most, like, I should say, like, once I started ADP, it was a turning point for me because all the girls at ADP are literally beautiful.
When you're doing that, like, you have to
you have to keep
the
up.
nature of the business.
You're walking into a new business owner. First impression is important. You have to be on your A game. Let's be real. It's all about, what you look like too. And so if you're meeting with, it's annoying, but like a business owner and you are looking attractive, they're more inclined, and especially with like a personality, they're more inclined to buy from you. Well, simply from your personality, to be honest with you. But as far as like first impressions, so like I started getting like dolled up at like ADP is like, and it's so not like me. All my friends were like, what the fuck is going on? Now you get your nails done all the time. Like, because I played soccer. I was like, I didn't give a shit at all. Yeah. So like, this is the most like my mom after 25 was like, I have a daughter.
We've talked about this.
Yes.
When you were young and your mom was like, you want to go get your hair done? And you're like, fuck,
I was like, no, I'm perfect. My confidence shot out of my asshole. Not that it still doesn't.
Beautiful. Listen to me. That is absolutely, like, I hope that one day if I ever have a female child, I hope that she fucking shits confidence. Because this world will do everything they can to break your confidence.
Yep. But that comes back to you're a product of your environment as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, my dad literally injected me with confidence. I'm telling you, when he was like, you are the baddest bitch in this world. Like, my dad is like my number one supporter. And my mom too. But like they both like just injected me with this like crazy ass confidence. So like growing up, like my mom would be like, don't you want to put some makeup on? I would like look at her and I'd be like, I'm perfect the way that I am. Go fuck yourself. Absolutely. I would never say fuck yourself to my mom. Yeah, but she would literally slap me. But that's the point of like, dude, like when I was younger, confidence just shot through.
That's incredible.
But you had like, and it comes from your parents.
That's incredible. I think now when I'm starting to like
feeling it. Yeah, you should. Yeah, it's the best feeling ever. There's no reason why nobody shouldn't have confidence. There's a difference between cockiness and confidence, and I feel like a lot of people don't know how they think that they're confident but they're actually cocky. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's definitely a fine line between confidence and cockiness, and people definitely go over that line. But it's important to be confident. It's really important to be confident for your self-esteem, for your mental health, everything in general, like, because you should like, God put you on this earth, or whatever your religion is, whatever you believe in, like, you've been put on this earth for a fucking reason. So like, strut your shit. Yeah. We live in a world now where you're supposed to be quote unquote perfect, right? Yeah. There's so much plastic surgery. There's so many people doing lip injections to change their face. I'm all here for, if there's like an imperfection that you feel uncomfortable about, but if it takes a toll on you to a point where you're adjusting so many different things of your body, I just think that like, you're made to be this way. Like, appreciate it and like love yourself, because there's so many warped visions on that side of things nowadays, and it's the reason why kids have insecurity issues, and it's the reason why kids grow up the way that they do. It's the reason why people can't have human interaction, and it just all falls into this social media shit that people think somebody looks a certain way, but in general they don't, or they try to get it fixed to look that certain way. And it's just like, you gotta love yourself.
Well, I think people have forgotten that pores are normal.
Oh yeah, right.
Like, and listen,
and acne and anything.
All for a filter, girlfriend.
Oh, me too.
I love them. But
too.
You know what, like this little monster right here,
I'm covering
this
mine,
little monster right here, like, whatever. It just is what it is.
Dude, you can't do anything about it. And it's like, who cares? Yeah. Because if you're going to exude the confidence within yourself to be like, who fucking cares? Then you're going to feel good about yourself, because you're not thinking about what others think. And you shouldn't. Yeah. Because it's your life.
I like that. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up. It's your life.
It's your life.
So live it. Don't forget to follow Eva on Instagram at Cookbook Diva, and that's DEVA, right?
Yep.
Is there anything you want to leave everybody with?
Shout out Pull Up Podcast.
Woo!
And not Pull Out Podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. You're welcome anytime. We can talk about whatever you want.
Literally like a genuine talk, and I just love it. So if she
I'm doing a dance.
Dude, if she reaches out to any of you guys, it's an enjoyable time.
Yay. All right.
Yay,
Bye, everybody.
Bye.